Hello, Internet. How are we this evening? Hope everybody's having a fantastic. What do we got? Is it Tuesday or is it Wednesday? I don't even know. I'm pretty sure it's Tuesday. Okay. All right, good. At least I was correct about the day. Casey Martin, Wally World. Nice to see you guys. Make sure we are streaming on all the platforms. I'm going to try something new tonight and put my links in the Twitter stream. So let me just bear with me here. Got them ready to go. So, all right. It's one way of doing it. I think Twitter is going to start doing something a little different in terms of live streaming. Hopefully they do at some point, because right now it's pretty wonky. You can just, it's not like YouTube where you can put a whole show description. You can't have, you can't like separate out your live streams if you go to somebody's Twitter feed, all that kind of stuff. So hopefully they figure that out soon. How is everyone? It's so good to see you. I guess Scarlett doesn't care tonight. Okay, you do care? All right, because Wally's here and wants to say hi to you. All right, this is Scarlett. If you guys don't know, she's the star of the show. She, we had Cal Fire come over a little earlier today. They wanted to do defensible space inspections around the house, and Scarlett borked at them and scared both of them. They're both female firefighter chicks. Yeah, Scarlett borked at them. All right, let's see here. I think we're streaming on all the platforms, and we are live on Rumble, YouTube, and X. All right, let's get into it here. Well, yeah, I'll start off by saying if you guys should go join. If you guys are a California parent, you should definitely, especially if you're a non-woke California parent and you have students in school, you guys should go join the California Parents Union. It's one way that that parents can actually fight back against the school unions and the administrators and the teachers that are trying to jam woke communism, transgender studies down your child's throat. So one way to fight back, it's only $25 a year. If you guys sign up, it helps support the show as well. So plenty of good resources over there. There's resources about homeschooling. There's legal stuff that you guys can find out about, so you can ask questions. It's a lawyer that runs it. So join the California Parents Union. If you use this link, it helps out the show. CaliforniaParentsUnion.com/CaliBased. So that's they're my first official sponsor, you guys. I guess, you know, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if you'd call them a sponsor, but they're yeah, they kind of are. They're kind of my first sponsor. So if you guys want to fight back against the school unions, the administrators, the California government that's trying to jam all this crap down your kid's throat, go to the California Parents. It's $25 for the year. So it's a good deal. Do live events, all sorts of inside info that you'll get. Website's a little wonky. We'll be working on it. I'm sort of on Tracy about it because it's a little wonky for my liking, but you know, who am I to complain? I don't even have a website. So, all right. Well, yeah, let's see. Get that off of there. I don't want that up there the whole show. Alrighty. All right. So yeah, California Parents Union /CaliBased. I'm sorry, CaliforniaParentsUnion.com /CaliBased, and you help support the show. I'm just going to warn you guys. I got the bubble guts this evening. I'm a little bum in the tum tum. So hopefully I don't have an Eric Swalwell moment while I'm on TV. Let's hope I don't have a Jerry Nadler moment. That would be even worse. So yeah, let's hope for the best here, folks. I know you guys wanted to know that information. Just wanted to let you know that I'm just a little bum in the tum tum. B Sizzo, nice to see you, all you guys. Good to see you. And yeah, let's get right into the racist Democrats, shall we? The soft bigotry of low expectations is the name of the show tonight, but it wasn't that soft. The bigotry was not that soft tonight. Kathy Hochul is out of her mind. It amazes me. I mean, I thought there was some sort of context that I was missing, like the Very Fine People hoax. Actually, I started playing it too soon. The Very Fine People on both sides hoax that they did with Trump, and there clearly was missing some sort of context, and they clearly were, because he clarified he's not talking about the white supremacists. Well, I thought that was going on with Kathy Hochul. I was like, there's no way she could actually think this. No. I watched the whole clip, like 5 minutes before, 5 minutes behind. No, she really thinks this. And, Biden says stuff like this. You'll hear freaking, I swear it's always super wealthy Democrats that have this white savior complex that they really seem to think like, if we don't save the black people, who's going to do it? It's this insane racism. I mean, there's no other way of putting it. It's freaking racist. It blows my mind every time that I hear stuff like this come out of people's mouths. So this is Kathy Hochul, and she said it. She said it out loud.
Young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word computer is. They don't know. They don't know these things. And I want the world open.
What? I'm sorry, what? Let's watch this again. What? Black kids don't what? They don't know these things? What a computer is? What?
Young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word computer is. They don't know. They don't know these things. And I want the world open up to all of them, because when you have their diverse voices innovating solutions through technology, then you're really addressing society's broader challenges. Young black.
Yeah, no, she meant it. That was what she meant. Unbelievable. It's insane. The RGS, nice to see you. You guys should go follow the RGS over on Rumble as well. They did an interview with a USS Liberty survivor, and I think I'm going to be getting him on my show as well. Insane. The whole USS Liberty situation. Even more insane talking to somebody that was actually on the boat. So, go give that episode a watch, the RGS over on Rumble, and I will hopefully be having him on here very soon. V1800, she's just trying to be helpful to the poor ignorant blacks. God, like how can you say that? There wasn't even like I accidentally said that out loud, like look on her face afterwards. It was just like, no, I'm standing by that. I really think that black kids from the Bronx don't know what a computer is. Okay. So it just reminded me of this clip, which I happen to have saved. And it's just, this is what Democrats think of. This is what Democrats think of black people right here.
A lot of people don't know how to register. Not everybody in the community, the Hispanic and the African American community, particularly in rural areas that are distant and or inner city districts, know how to get online to determine how to get in line for that COVID vaccine. A lot of people.
These people are, I'm talking about the Democrats, not these people. These people, the Democrats, are so disconnected from regular, ordinary, everyday citizens. And like Biden, remember when he said, poor kids are just as smart as white kids or something like that. Like it's so in your face racist, and they just keep going with it. Like they're like, when they implement these policies, like affirmative action, like, the poor black kids aren't going to get into college unless we lower the test scores for them. Like, how is that not racist? And then voter ID laws, those, make a Democrat explain voter ID laws or affirmative action without sounding like Kathy Hochul or Joe Biden right there. If you don't vote for me, you ain't black. What did you just say? It blows my mind every time I hear stuff like this. And how can you voter ID laws? They really think, well, minorities, the blacks, they're not going to be able to get an ID to vote. So we need to make it so you don't need to require ID to vote. You know, what's funny is, as many of you know, I ran for office. I ran for state senate. They do not make it easy to run for office if you're just an ordinary, everyday citizen. It was $1,200 up front just to file. Just to file to run. You know what else I had to do? I had to show ID. It's so they have this whole thing where it's, you know, that's what makes me think it's disingenuous, or maybe it's not. Maybe they really think that, yeah, the poor blacks can't figure out how to get ID, so we can't have voter ID laws. But then in the background, they're kind of like, well, you know, we got to keep it hard for them to run for office because we don't want the blacks running for office. Because that's kind of what it seems like. It's still hard to run for office. It's insane. It's too easy to vote. It's way too easy to vote. You get mailed a ballot. You don't even need to leave your couch. Just stick it in the mailbox. I guess you technically have to leave your couch to stick it in the mailbox. Maybe not, though. If somebody lives with you, you can hand it to them and make them go, you know, it's way too easy to vote. In California, at least, the universal mail-in ballots, it's kind of insane. And yeah, you don't need ID. It's freaking banana balls. But, you know, that's okay. The soft bigotry of low expectations. So that clip, that clip's funny. So, okay, we'll keep going here. Almost through this little segment here. I want to hear from a few different people on what their thoughts were with the whole thing. So let's go over to CJ Pearson. You guys know CJ Pearson. He, I believe he ran for office. Did he run for office? He's the publisher of the Free Tribune, co-chair of the RNC Youth Advisory Council. So let's see what his reactions to the Kathy Hochul moment are, shall we? What did Mr. CJ Pearson have to say about it?
So, y'all, I just watched a video of the Democrat governor of New York, Kathy Hochul, saying that black people, particularly in the Bronx, don't know what computers are. That's an exact quote from her, guys. I've got to tell y'all, and excuse my language in advance, but I am tired of these racist-ass Democrats. I am tired of these racist-ass Democrats and the pass that the media gives them every single day to say this filth. Imagine if any Republican said what she just said. Imagine if Donald J. Trump said what she just said. Every single day, Democrats get a pass to belittle black people, to demean black people, to spit in our face, to play in our face, and everyone just gives them a pass to do so. The only time they have to pretend to care about black people is during an election year. And even then, as it appears by Governor Hochul's comments, the mask still has a tendency to slip. Because they can't hide who they are. They believe in the bigotry of low expectations. They believe that black people are ignorant. They believe that black people can't be independent. They believe that black people can't stand on our own 2 feet. But I've got to tell them something. Let me let you in on a secret. The color of my skin is not a disability. I'm a 21-year-old young black man who doesn't believe that the color of my skin is a disability. And that is for good reason, because it never has been. And so my hope is that my community, the black community, listens to what these Democrats are saying about us and remembers it on election day. These people don't like us, they don't care about us, and they don't give a damn about us. And they don't deserve our votes. It's as simple as that.
Imagine if Trump would have said something along those lines. It's insane. It's freaking insane. Casey Martin, Adam Carolla, when Gavin tried to say that, yeah, this stuff, you know, it disproportionately affects minority voters. And Adam Carolla's like, well, why? Why is it I can't do an Adam Carolla impression. It ends up coming out like, geez, why am I blanking on his name? I'll keep trying. He's like, why, Adam? You know, why? Why does it affect them? And he puts Gavin on the spot, and he's like, well, you know, it just, you know, there's just factors. He's like, well, what factors? He just keeps going. This is like a 10-year-old interview by now, maybe even older, but I don't think Gavin will ever go on with Adam Carolla again. Gavin won't go on with anyone unless he knows that he has like pre-screened questions coming in. He's destroyed California so much that there's so many different things that you can come at him about where he won't have a good answer. Hey, Gavin, why is our border wide open? Have you seen all those boats that are just pulling into San Diego and a bunch of illegals are jumping off? And hey, Gavin, why are you giving illegals healthcare? Like, why? Why? Hey, Gavin, why are all these Soros DAs not prosecuting? What's that about? Hey, Gavin, what happened to your 10-year plan to end homelessness? I mean, I'm just some schlub, and I would rip Gavin apart if I was given the opportunity to interview him. And yeah, sorry. Well, that's the whole racist Democrat thing. Gavin, he lives in freaking Napa. Gavin hasn't probably talked to someone from the middle class, like sat down and talked to someone, a middle class Californian that, is struggling. I would bet money that he hasn't talked to a middle class Californian who's been struggling for however long. I don't think he's talked to anybody in the last 10, 15 years that, like, a regular person like me that works a normal job and just has normal everyday concerns, like, hey, crap, what am I going to do? Am I going to pay electricity or am I going to buy food? Because that's where a lot of Californians are right now. And they're so disconnected from reality. And that's why they can say shit like this with a straight face and actually believe it. Black people from the Bronx don't know what a computer is. Are you what? Did you really just say that? Okay. All right. Unbelievable. Let's go to Laverne Spicer. So she says, it's not a video, it's just her tweet. She says, Democrat Governor Kathy Hochul says black kids don't know what a computer is. She says, bitch, not only do you know what a computer is, we got one in our pockets. Ain't a smartphone a computer? You sound just as racist and shitty as Joe Biden did when he said poor kids are just as bright and talented as white kids. That's what it was. Like, yeah, like, man. Oh, remember what didn't Joe Biden say something about Barack Obama too? Like, how he's clean. Like, you remember that one? I wish I had that clip pulled up. But he's talking about Barack Obama. He's a black guy, but he's clean. Like, they're so racist. They're so freaking racist. She continues. Y'all ready to do? Y'all really do think you're better than us, don't you? Well, guess what? You ain't nothing but a substitute governor, and your time is near. And that is damn true. Yeah. Andrew Cuomo, the freaking murderer, he was probably a better governor than Hochul. You ain't nothing but a substitute governor, and your time is near. I didn't think it was possible, but you got worse than Cuomo. Yep, she's right. New York City ain't nothing but a war zone since your dumbass took over. Go back to the forest and start gnawing through some trees again, bitch. Oh my God. Oh, Laverne Spicer. She went ruthless on her. That was pretty good. That was a good one. Mahanish, hello, Cali girl, B1800. Hi. Oh, saying hi. I like it. Like when you guys chat. I hope you guys make friends in the chat here. I really do. I like it when I see you guys chatting. Colin, nice to see you. Oh yeah, I remember when he pretended to go into Target. Who, Gavin? That was recent, wasn't it? Yeah, he pretended to go into Target. Yeah, he's such a fraud. Gavin doesn't do his own shopping. No, guaranteed. No way. He's a clean, articulate black guy. That's a storybook, man. Thanks, Casey Martin. Was that the exact quote? He's a clean, articulate black guy. That's a storybook, man. Oh, Joe Biden never ceases to amaze me how racist the Democrats are. So, yeah, that's it. I don't have anything else pulled up because there's not much more to it. Democrats are super racist. This was more like the hard bigotry of low expectations, because it's like, you really don't think black people from anywhere. I mean, go to some African town that I've never heard of that nobody knows exists. They probably know what computers are. Go the Zulus. I guarantee you the Zulus know about computers. You're saying kids from the Bronx don't? This is, oh God. Oh geez. Unbelievable. I mean, yeah, I don't think that computers have been around for a pretty long time. And yeah, Laverne Spicer's right. We got them in our pockets. Oh boy. Unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. All right, that's it. That's that little segment. That's all I had to say about that one. Danger, nice to see you. What's going on? North Side, hello. But does he know computers? Yeah, I know. Unbelievable. If black people don't know computers, explain Nigerian fraud. Yeah, no kidding. That's a great point. That's a great point, Northside. That's hilarious. All right. So let me hear. I should have kept sharing my screen. So let's go back. I just want to remind you guys again. So I'm sort of trying to elevate my game here, the whole live stream game, and I'm going to be, now that I got some sponsors, I got affiliate links to talk about and stuff, and this is I'm trying to do a little better on my stream with bringing in some cheese. Tim Pool asked for $10 every month from you guys, so I'm not asking for that. I'm asking you guys to maybe check out the links that I got posted. If you guys are a parent in California, sign up for the California Parents Union. It's one way to fight back against the California Teachers Union. So this is the California Parents Union here. Yeah, so this is the website that'll bring you to. If you guys go to CaliBased, if you guys go to CaliforniaParentsUnion.com/CaliBased. This is the website right here. CaliforniaParentsUnion.com/CaliBased. $25 a year, and it will, it's a year-long membership. You get all sorts of resources, you get news about upcoming events, speaking events that we'll be doing, all sorts of stuff that we'll be talking about. And then also, you get homeschooling advice, homeschooling resources, you get legal resources. So it's again, $25 a month. It's worth it. So, all right, I'm going to be plugging stuff regularly, just so you guys get used to it. So trying to be a real podcast, you guys. All right, let's keep going here. Danger, you have a mic for me? This mic isn't bad. What I really need to upgrade is my camera, but I'm scared you guys are going to see how truly ugly I am if I upgrade my camera. I want to upgrade my computer too. My computer freaking sucks. My computer's like 10 years old that I'm doing this from. It was a really good computer back then, but it's not that great anymore. But yeah, we'll keep going here. So we've got some other stuff to talk about. Oh, I wish I would have made this bigger, but I didn't. So this is like some big news that I didn't hear a ton of people talking about today. I mean, the libertarians are talking about it because, it's a big deal in the libertarian community, but there wasn't a lot of other people talking about it, like news stuff. So if you guys don't know, the Libertarian National Convention is coming up soon. I believe it's in DC. I wanted to go. I can't afford it. It's just, it costs too much money. I have to find somebody to watch my dogs. I really wanted to go, but I can't. And now I really want to go because Trump's going to be speaking there. And then RFK, who is at the California Libertarian Convention, he spoke there. Well, he called out Trump and he challenged him to a debate. So wouldn't that be interesting if we saw RFK and Trump debating at the Libertarian Convention? But then you're like, wait a minute, well, he's a Democrat, RFK, independent, and then Trump's a Republican. Like, wait a minute, at the Libertarian Convention? Well, no. So if that's going to happen, and this just came out today, like Trump was going to speak there, it was just going to be Trump speaking, and then RFK is like, no, I want to debate you. Well, that opens up a whole other can of worms because you can't just have two candidates that aren't even for your party debating at the event without the Libertarian presidential candidate debating on that stage as well. So I really hope this happens. And I hope they get like a big name moderator, Joe Rogan. That would be freaking awesome. Joe Rogan, Tucker Carlson, even, I think would be great. I don't think you can have, a lot of people are saying Dave Smith, but I don't think it would be, you need somebody that's at least going to try to be neutral. And, I guess if you're going to have somebody, it is at the Libertarian National Convention. So yeah, maybe you could have Dave, maybe you could have Spike Cohen do it. I mean, that would be pretty cool. But anyway, so RFK called out Trump and he's like, let's debate, bitch. So this is what RFK wrote, like a letter. So he says, He says, "Dear President Trump, I'm grateful to you for calling attention to the rigged polling methodologies that based DNC influenced media have used against you. We have this concern too, and I am happy to show you the deceptive methods used by the DNC allied pollsters who pretend that I'm in single digits. You have correctly characterized these as fake polls." So that's the thing. So I learned this way back in the day when I first started, like, the first person I ever voted for, the first election I ever voted in was in the 2016 election. I'm 40. So yeah, I got in the game a little late. Started paying attention to stuff before that. And I was a Bernie bro before this, like before the Democratic National Convention of 2015, I believe it was, when they, the whole WikiLeaks email, the Hillary Clinton campaign, the DNC, Debbie Wasserman Schultz all throwing Bernie under the bus. The emails came out that were like, how do we make Bernie look like an anti-Semite, even though he's Jewish, like all that stuff. And then Debbie Wasserman Schultz was forced to step down. And then she immediately went and joined the Hillary Clinton campaign. And I thought when the Democratic National Convention was coming up, I was like, Bernie's going to stick it to her. Bernie's going to say, no, I'm going independent and all my followers come with me. And it was going to screw Hillary over. I really thought that was going to happen. And then Bernie went up on stage and he just sucked Hillary off. It just bent the knee. It was awful. It was freaking awful. I was so disappointed. Like, I lost all respect for Bernie at that point, all of it. And I started exploring my other options. Just like, this is insane. And I'm glad, because I didn't know a lot about politics back then. And I didn't realize how much I hated socialism and how much I hated communism. I didn't know much about either of them. I just knew that my dad used to call people commies, and so did Brett Foreman. And so, yeah, I didn't know much about it. And Bernie's like, free healthcare, free education. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds good. So that was pretty much like my reasoning behind being a Bernie supporter. I didn't know any better. But I thought Bernie was going to at least stand up to Hillary. He didn't. So I started exploring the Libertarian Party, and it was like Gary Johnson. Sorry, guys, don't judge me. And yes, Gary Johnson was the first person I voted for as president. Yes, don't judge me. And it was voting technically for the Libertarian Party, even though he was a Republican governor. And Bill Weld, is that his name? Bill Weld was his RhinoCon freaking VP. I don't even know how that worked out, because the Libertarian Party is the one party that actually votes for their vice president. It isn't picked by whoever wins the nomination for the Libertarian Party for president. They don't get to pick who the vice president is. The Libertarian Party votes for the vice president as well. That's how you end up with Spike Cohen back in 2020, because I don't think he would have gotten along with what's her face. And that was actually why I voted for Trump, because she's blanking on her name. The chick that won, the awful, horrible chick that won, that was like, I don't know if she was pro-vaccine. What was her name? She was so forgettable that I can't even remember her name now. You guys know what I'm talking about. The chick that won the Libertarian nomination. And I was like, screw this. I'm voting for Trump. Trump's more Libertarian than her. Don't judge me. I still think he was. Crap, I can't remember her name. Doesn't matter. But Spike Cohen got the nomination. And sorry, this whole tangent that I went off on was back in 2016, Gary Johnson pointed out, like, I can't get in the debates unless I'm polling at 10%. And they're trying to say that RFK isn't polling at 10%. It's like bullshit. I think RFK is going to win California, personally. And yeah, they're saying he's not polling at 10%. So they're fudging the numbers, all of that. So that's what he's talking about in that first paragraph there to Donald Trump. So he says, this is why we did our own poll with Zogby. The hell is Zogby? The largest and most accurate poll in this election cycle. We had Zogby ask about head-to-head matchups. 1, you versus President Biden. 2, me versus President Biden. 3, me versus you. The results. You beat President Biden handily. I crush him as well by even more. And against each other, I beat you in a nail biter. Interesting. Okay, I wonder what it would be in a 3-way race. And I wonder how many people they polled and where they were from. In a 3-way, I should have said in a 3-way race, because it just sounds like in a 3-way, it sounds a little gay. In a 3-way, you are ahead, but I am coming up strong. 2 new polls, CNN and Quinnipiac have me at about 15%, debate threshold. Oh, it's 15% now? It used to only be 10. Oh, so this is the RNC, the Republican National Committee, and the DNC colluding together to be like, we got to keep those third parties out. We got to make sure this. Ross Perot's the one. You blame Ross Perot for all this stuff. He's the one that ran as an independent way back in the day. And a lot of people say that's why Bill Clinton got in and beat Bush, the incumbent. You know, Bush Sr. should have gotten another 4 years, but, you know, Ross Perot threw a big old monkey wrench into that thing. And then the RNC and the DNC colluded and we're like, how can we keep these third party candidates out? Well, this is how they do it. So I guess they raised it to 15%. I didn't know that. Another active note has me at 26% among young voters, and you and I are tied among America's 70 million independents. Okay. So he says, I'm also drawing a lot of voters from your former supporters. They are upset that you blew up the deficit, shut down their businesses during COVID, and filled your administration with swamp creatures. Oh, he's going hard. He's not wrong there. So I'd like to make you an offer. We're both going to be speaking at the upcoming Libertarian Convention on May 24th and 25th. It's perfect neutral territory for you and me to have a debate where you can defend your record for your wavering supporters. Okay. You yourself have said you're not afraid to debate me as long as my poll numbers are decent. Well, they are in fact. In fact, I'm the only presidential candidate in history who has polled ahead of both major party candidates in head-to-head races. So let's meet at the Libertarian Convention and show the American public that at least two of the major candidates aren't afraid to debate each other. I asked convention organizers, and they are game for us to use our time there to bring the American people the debate they deserve. Okay, so you talked to Angela. Angela McArdle's the Libertarian National Committee chair. And she hasn't posted about this all day. I went to her Twitter to see what she was saying about it, and she hasn't posted about it all day, which means she's busy. So I'm very curious to see what happens. I would love to see this, but I don't think this debate should happen with just Trump and just Kennedy at the LP National Convention. That ain't right. Like, it can't just be them. We have our own candidates. The Libertarian Party has their own candidates. Do they stand a chance? No, not really. But that's not really the point. And if you're using this whole thing to elevate the Libertarian Party, you gotta let the Libertarian candidates speak. And if Rechtenwald was on stage with them, he's going to rip them both to shreds. He's going to come at Kennedy about, you know, his notorious global warming stances. He's going to come at Kennedy about his Israel support, and he's going to rip Trump apart by saying, bro, you can't get off the vaccines. You did blow up the budget. You let Fauci run roughshod on you. You didn't pardon Assange. You didn't pardon Snowden. Mike Rechtenwald, who I hope wins the Libertarian nomination, who I'm a big fan of, awesome guy, and he used to be a communist. So he understands that whole side of things, and he's changed his mind on stuff. He's a highly, highly intelligent person, and yeah, he would rip them both to shreds. So yeah, I would love to see that. I would love to see Rechtenwald, Trump, and RFK debate, and then freaking Biden can just go jerk himself off, whatever he does. It's and I mean, for transparency, I do believe Biden was invited to this as well. Of course, you know, he's not going to come, but yeah, so that's the situation. That is the situation. RFK challenged Trump to a debate at the Libertarian National Convention. It might happen. I don't think it should happen unless the LP candidate is up on stage as well. So yeah, curious. Let's see. Checking Jill Stein. Thank you, Wally. She's not Jill Stein. Joe Green? No. What are you talking about? Who the hell's Jill Green? No, yeah, I think you're thinking of Jill Stein from the Green Party. No. Libertarian. God, what was her? I can't believe I'm blanking on her name. Jo Jorgensen. Jo Jorgensen. I don't know how that came to my brain, but yeah, Jo Jorgensen. She was awful. I couldn't stand her. Yeah, you're thinking of B-Scissor, you're thinking of Jill Stein. I met her in Emeryville Best Buy. Just happened to meet her. I was like, are you Jill Stein? And she, yeah, that's me. Nice lady, you know, just whatever. Jo Jorgensen, North Side. Yeah, you in the RGS. Yes, thank you, all you guys. You guys told me. Let's see here. Trump should put RFK in charge of dismantling the blob, drain the swamp. I don't trust RFK either. The RGS, thank you. You guys, if you want to hit that like button, it'd be very helpful. If you're watching over on Twitter, you can hit the repost button. That is super helpful when you guys do that. Also on Twitter, next to my name, there's a little icon that you can tap. If you want to tip me, if you think I'm doing a good job, you can tip me, and it helps me survive, helps me keep the lights on, helps keep the Scarlet and the Chiva fed. So everything helps always, even $1. All that stuff helps. North side, we'll check that out. Let's see. RFK has skin in the game because he was whacked. Yeah, because they whacked his dad and his uncle. Yeah, but who did? Who whacked his dad and his uncle? What was his dad trying? I mean, I got a whole theory on who I think did it, but everybody thinks it was the CIA. I don't necessarily think it was the CIA. I think it was a combination of people for a combination of reasons. RFK, okay. Dems and leftists will have a hard time arguing with Trump is out for revenge. If it is RFK Jr., recommend swamp creatures for indictments. Yeah, I mean, at this point, I'm not settled on Trump, you guys. I am not settled on Trump, especially how he can't get off the vaccines. He was totally down with this giant aid package to Rafah. I mean, Biden stopping that crap, like that's kind of crazy, you know? That's like, and I agree with Biden on that one, especially, you know, they said, you guys can't go into Rafah. We're going to cut off money. We're going to cut off funding to you if you guys go into Rafah. And Netanyahu said, yeah, we're going to go into Rafah. And they went into Rafah, and Biden cut off funding. It's like, holy shit, you actually did what you said you're going to do. And yeah, okay. I mean, I agree with that move. North side, if the CIA stands for Israel, maybe. Well, can't really tell where the CIA ends and Mossad starts, right? It's kind of hard to tell sometimes. All right, let's keep going here. So let's go over to Dave Smith. He says, if the LP nominee isn't decided yet, I'll gladly jump in the debate and represent the LP National. I'm also happy to debate RFK one-on-one if Trump doesn't accept. Of course you are, Dave. I love Dave, but I don't think that would be a good move. Dave's not. If it's not decided yet, then I mean, no, it should be somebody that's actually running. Like, Dave, you're great. We all love you, but no, it has to be somebody that's actually running. I mean, Clint would be a better option. Clint Russell would be a better option. He's actually running for the vice president. So yeah, I want it to be Rechtenwald. I really want it to be Rechtenwald. So Connor Freeman says, I'm going to go out on a limb and suggest the LP bump the other candidates and nominate comic Dave Smith for this task, even if he's not running. What? No, dude. No. It's a presidential debate. It's got to be somebody that's at least running for the Libertarian nomination. And I think all of the candidates that are running should get a chance to speak before RFK and Trump even debate. Like, this is still the Libertarian National Convention. They are guests. This is not about them. They're going to turn it about them. But yeah, so see what Clint has to say. So Clint Russell, running for the vice presidential nomination, says RFK Jr. confirms he will be at the LP National Convention and challenges Trump to a live debate. This would be incredible. Whoever wins the LP nomination should be on stage for that as well. Yes, exactly. This needs to happen. Yeah, okay. I'm 100% with Clint. Like, we're lockstep there. So that's exactly what I thought. So I wanted to go to Dave Smith, Clint Russell, and Spike Cohen. Those are the three libertarians I want to hear from on this. So Spike Cohen says, if RFK and Trump debate at the Libertarian National Convention, the Libertarian candidate should be in that debate. I agree, 100%. We already get shut out of the CPD debates. Not a shot in hell. We get shut out of our own convention. Yeah, like spot on. Yeah, flat out. 100% agree with Spike there. Yes, if they're going to debate, you got an independent candidate, you got the Republican nominee. It's got to be the Libertarian nominee up on stage with them. It's the Libertarian convention. You have to have the Libertarian on stage. Neither Trump nor Kennedy are libertarians. And yes, you have to at least have the libertarian perspective presented on stage there, even though there's a wide range of libertarian perspectives. And some people, there's the whole, you're not a real libertarian thing, like that I've been accused of all the time. Maybe I'm not. I don't know. Maybe I'm not. But I am a member of the Libertarian Party, so you guys can suck it. All right, let's keep going. Michael Rechtenwald, who I would like to see on stage. He posts, he hasn't made a comment on this. I went to his page to see if he had, but he hadn't yet. He says, here's the state of the LP Mises Caucus. I'm sorry. Here is the slate of LP Mises Caucus endorses LP candidates. I'm looking forward to their success at the convention. So the Mises Caucus wants it to be Michael Rechtenwald as the presidential nominee and Clint Russell as the vice presidential nominee. That is exactly what I want as well. Now, there's a handful of people running that I freaking love. Joshua Smith, he's great. He's awesome dude. Built like a brick shit house. He's just an awesome dude. Great opinions, great takes. I don't see him on here. Oh yeah, so yeah, he's not nominated, but also Lars. Lars is freaking awesome. He's a local out of Aptos. Love Lars. He's a great dude, but Rechtenwald and Clint Russell are the ones that I would like to see here. So yeah, that's that. And then Clint also says here, I think that's where I first saw this. Sending a public/personal invite to Joe Rogan if you'd like to moderate the debate at the LP National. It would be a real blessing. Dave Smith, Donald J. Trump, RFK Jr. Everyone know. Oh, okay. Wait, what? Everyone knows Biden is a disaster. This is the debate the American people deserve. What say you? Why is he saying Dave Smith though? Dave Smith can't be up there, Clint. I guess if there's no nominee yet, but I don't like that. Dave Smith's not even running at all. At least maybe have the front runners up there. Clint, I would rather have you up there than Dave. You're running. We need to have our nominee figured out before this debate can even happen, because our nominee needs to be on stage with this. So, okay. All right. That's what I got. That's what I got for that segment. So RFK freaking called out Trump. How interesting. Interesting indeedy. Yeah, okay. We'll keep going here, folks. Check out the chat. Green Leap Forward, nice to see you. Josh spoke at the with Ron Paul recently too. Oh, was he on Ron Paul's show? That's pretty cool. I saw Josh post something about that. He just said he reposted somebody that said, I learned about you from Ron Paul. And Josh was just like, this is the coolest thing anybody's ever said about me. That was pretty cool. Yeah, Josh has been on Timcast twice. Yeah, he's had his name around. I had him on this show. He's one of my first guests, actually. One of my very first guests. I had him, Spike Cohen, Clint Russell have all been on. Not trying to name drop. I'm just saying, I try to. Libertarians are the ones I want to talk to the most. Oh, cool. Thanks for putting the link in there. Appreciate it. Green Leap Forward. Casey Martin. Already read that. Okay. All caught up on Rumble. All right. Keep going here. All right. So, as I've been doing, now I'm going to talk to you guys about some shoes. So this is not a sponsor. These are my affiliate links, but so you can sign up for at Amazon, you can sign up for products that you can sign up for what's called affiliate links, and you can put your links and try to sell stuff for a commission. And well, what am I going to sell? Okay, well, stuff that I like and stuff that I use. So I am a huge fan of Topo shoes, Topo trail running shoes. And the reason I'm a fan of these is because they have the wide toe box, as you guys can see here. Toe box is this part right here. And it allows you to splay your toes out. The Ultra shoes do the same thing, but they are a zero drop shoe, meaning your heel and the ball of your foot are at the same height. And when I wear those, they thrash my calves. I get, for whatever reason, and it's funny because I have the same thing happened from when I run in Ultra zero drop shoes, my calves, I'll start getting a small cramp when I'm running, and it'll just get worse and worse and worse and worse until it like locks up. And if I keep going, it basically it tears. There's like a small tear that I get. This happened on my last run. I got one and I tried to just keep going through it because it wasn't as bad as it normally was. Usually it's like a spontaneous, like almost like a pop. And it started happening, but it was like coming on slowly. I felt it at the very beginning of my run. And then I got to the observation deck at Henry Cowell, which is just under 4 miles into my run. And I started feeling like it like started coming on stronger, and I stopped, drank my water. And as soon as I started running again, it was like, oh shit, this is bad. Ran another mile, got to like mile 5.5. It was going to be a 7 miler. And I was like, yeah, I got to walk. I got to just walk the rest. This is going to get gnarly. And it did. It's even walking started hurting really bad. So that was one of my, that was this shoe. I was wearing this shoe right here. These are also Topos, but if you notice, actually, I'm sorry. I guess it wasn't this shoe. Yeah, it wasn't. It was another Topo shoe. So you guys see how it says 5 millimeter drop? That means your heel is 5 millimeters above the ball of your foot. These are also a 5 millimeter drop. The ones that I have right now are a 3 millimeter drop. So I think even those shoes, my heel is a little too close to the ground. And what I've been told by other runners is that my calf muscles are probably short. And that's why this is happening to me. That's why it happens in the 0 drop shoes. And I'm guessing that's why it's happened to me in the 3 millimeter drop shoes. I wish I could run in 0 drop shoes because I have ankles made of glass. My ankles, if I hit a rock or something, my ankle just pops over like Steph Curry style. I mean, I'm talking ankle bone to the ground. I have to go really slow downhill now unless I'm running on concrete. And it's brutal. I roll my ankles like way too often. A lot of people say you need to quit trail running. And I say, fuck you. I'm not doing that. I love trail running. It's my thing. So anyway, these shoes here, these are all these links are in the show notes below. If you guys go to the Rumble show notes, if you are watching on Twitter, they're in those show notes as well. I don't have them in my YouTube show notes. I will. I'll put them in there. But you guys can see this is like looking from the bottom. I guess there is no view from the bottom on these ones, but yeah, they just give you extra stability. You guys can see these. Just the toe box is wide, so you get extra stability. These are the shoes I like. I'll talk really quick. Shoe insoles. Shoe insoles are just as important as your shoes, if you ask me. The ones that they come with are just super flimsy. So even for walking or for hiking, these are fantastic. These are the ones I use. Curex. Superfeet also makes some really good ones, but you kind of got to go and they got to check out the arch of your foot. They do that stuff at REI. They do that stuff at different running stores. If you already know what kind of arches you have, like I have super flat feet. These are the ones that I get, the low profile ones. These Curex insoles are freaking fantastic. They're like a game changer. I used to get plantar fasciitis really bad. I don't get that anymore ever since I switched to these shoe insoles. So a link to those are also in the show notes below. And then this is all just running stuff, that I love. So this is my lightweight running vest that I wear. This is the UltraSpire Momentum. They do have these things on the back here for 2 water bottles that I thought it was a cool idea when I first got it. The water bottles on the back, I don't like it. People say they're not that hard to grab. They're not super hard to grab. They're kind of hard to put back in place when you're running. I just prefer to either have a water bottle right here in my pocket or a bladder, just a water bladder that I have a hose, a big straw to. But I use this vest without the water bottles. I use it when I'm doing shorter runs and I just want to carry some stuff. I like to have my phone right here. I should have put the Spy Belt link in here as well, and I will. But yeah, I like to wear this running vest when I don't have a lot to carry. I'm not carrying water, or if I'm going on a shorter run and I only need a single bottle of water, I'll run with this vest here. This is the UltraSpire Momentum, and this running vest is also in my show notes. These are great for hiking as well. So, yep. All right, that's it. I'll quit shilling for Amazon, but you can go to their websites and get them that way as well. But if you use the links in my show notes, it contributes to the show. So, all right, I'll stop shilling. Enough shilling for you guys. That was a good amount of shilling right there. Let's see. Okay, keep going. It's okay. Yeah, let's talk about the Trump stuff now. Stormy Daniels, Trump stuff. I did a whole episode on this not too long ago. and I won't go too far into the weeds on the whole Trump stuff right now, but we do got to talk about it. Danger, does it stop bullets? Rubber bullets? No, it absolutely does not. Danger, you know this. But I mean, it might be. No, it's no. I was trying to think of a way to say to use it when you're shooting. No, you wouldn't want to use it when you're shooting. I mean, maybe a running vest that has the bladder in it would be good. They're good for mountain biking. Definitely good for that. The ones that have the water bladder in them. North side, I used to run in topos, but I still use the zero drop now. If you start having calf issues, know that might be it. The zero drop thing is tons of people love Altras. They absolutely love Altra shoes. I can't run in them. They just trash my calves. I can't do it. So, all right, keep going here. Go over to what was it? Travis Media Group. Yeah, let's see here. Okay. So the Stormy Daniels trial is going on right now. The sham show trial, the weaponization of government. So this is from Travis Media Group, and he says, just in, Stormy Daniels may have helped Trump win this case more than she's aware, and hopefully Trump's prosecution puts the pressure on her. Based on her testimony, this class should be shut down. The entire case should be shut down. She said while speaking with Donald Trump, he never offered her a penny and never told her to keep silent. That would mean that he never tried to hide the story for political purposes. Yeah, it's kind of open and shut there, isn't it? She also said Cohen worked out the payment agreement with her. Once again, this puts Cohen on the hook, not Trump. He made very clear, he made every agreement and Trump was at no point involved. And yes, I did a whole episode on this. She said in like 2 different letters and several times on the record that this was not like this was all willing, like this wasn't what they're saying it is. This entire case will come down to Donald Trump's word and evidence versus Michael Cohen. Michael Cohen, a known convicted felon who has lied to authorities on multiple occasions. If it wasn't political, this case would be shut down. Will the jury see this sham for what it is? All right. So that's what Travis Media Group has to say about it. Wait, who is he with? Oh, I guess he's with like Wall Street Bets. I think that's Wall Street Bets or Wall Street Silver. I'm not sure. Okay, so Simon Atiba, breaking, convicted former Stormy Daniels lawyer Michael Avenatti, releases damning statement regarding the testimony of Stormy Daniels and asks, will DA Bragg pursue charges against her for falsification of business records? So Avenatti's become like an unlikely hero in all of this. I'm not calling him a hero. It's just a figure of speech. But, I mean, he's coming out just blatantly saying how this whole thing is a sham. So this appears to be a statement from Avenatti. It says, will DA Bragg and others charge Stormy Daniels with fraud and falsification of business records? Statement of Michael Avenatti last June. I was contacted by producer Sarah Gibson, who requested that I assist with a documentary about the former client, Stormy Daniels. I had fired Daniels as a client in February of 2019. On June 25th, 2023, at 12:09 p.m. Pacific time, I spoke with Miss Gibson by phone on a recorded line and asked her a number of questions so I could determine whether I would agree to participate. I was particularly interested in knowing whether the project was going to be legitimate and fair, or instead a puff piece designed to put Daniels in a favorable light while ignoring the facts and trashing me and Donald Trump. I wanted nothing to do with the project as I was the latter. Okay. My first question to Miss Gibson when I spoke was whether Daniels was being paid for the documentary. I asked the question because if she was being paid for the doc, it would be a clear indication to me that the project lacked integrity, would be one-sided and controlled by Daniels. Miss Gibson told me that Daniels was being paid for the documentary, but that because she owed Trump hundreds of thousands of dollars from a judgment Trump was trying to collect from Daniels. They, Daniels, Gibson, and others, had come up with the plan that would allow Daniels to be secretly paid, while at the same time keeping the payments from Trump and his attorneys, among other things. She told me that she had fictionally optioned the rights to Daniels' book and then routed the money Daniels demanded through a fabricated trust that had been set up in the name of Daniels' daughter, all to hide the money from Trump and avoid paying the judgment. These people are so freaking shady. And then this goes to the whole, political campaign contributions, NGOs, like the protests right now. Like everybody knows these protests that are happening on campuses, how they are being secretly funded by people. Well, they channel the money through all these different hands and set up like shell companies and all that shit. So you never know where the money is actually coming from and who's paying who. It's shady as shit. To say that I was shocked when I was told that this would be an understatement. A woman I had never met or spoken to before was admitting to me on the record that Daniels, she and others had engaged in multiple overt criminal acts, state and federal, including falsification of business records, wire fraud, and fraudulent transfers, all in an effort to defraud Trump and avoid paying him what he is legally due. Due to the fraud, I declined to participate in the documentary. See, that's what I forgot too. It's like Stormy Daniels owes him a ton of money. The whole thing is so ridiculous. If what Miss Gibson told me on the recorded line is true, and there is every reason to believe it is, how can DA Alvin Bragg possibly rely on the testimony of Daniels, who is herself guilty of fraud and recently falsifying records to cover up the crime, i.e. fraudulent transfer and wire fraud? Further, will DA Bragg and others be promptly filing criminal charges against Daniels or others involved in the scheme? Oh God, this is insane that this is coming from Avenatti too, because this is like CNN's golden boy when they were constantly attacking Trump. This whole thing is insane. There's more from Avenatti here. This from Alex Brusowitz says, reminder, Stormy Daniels' own lawyer said that Daniels admitted that she extorted Trump and the whole thing was a shakedown. Stormy is Biden's star witness today in the rigged trial. Trump is the victim here. There's a tweet from Michael Avenatti. Keith Davidson is lying. After I confronted her with her own text messages, Daniels admitted to me in early 2019 that she and Davidson had extorted Trump in October 2016. It was a shakedown. This was one of the many reasons I fired her as a client in February of 2019. Oh, man. This whole thing's so shady. And then how do the Democrats look at it? Like, how do the worst Democrats on earth look at it? Let's go to Brooklyn Dad Defiant, shall we? If you guys aren't Twitter folks, you guys don't know that, like the Krasensteins and JoJo and Brooklyn Dad Defiant. It's their Twitter personalities that are paid by the DNC. Everybody knows they're freaking paid by the DNC. And then they're like, no, we're not paid by the DNC. And it's like, yeah, you get the money's funneled through all sorts of other shit. And it's just DNC starts with the money, you end with the money, and there's a bunch of people in between that get their wheels greased as well. So Brooklyn Dad Defiant says, Stormy Daniels' account of sex with Trump. It was missionary, it was unprotected, it was brief, and he had zero interest in keeping it from his wife. Hoffinger, did he express any concern at this point about his wife finding out? Daniels, no. And that is ball game, folks. What? Like, what's ball game? What are you talking about? So, okay, she had shitty sex with Trump and he didn't care if Melania found out. That's not illegal. What are you talking about? So that's how Democrats look at all this shit. It's like they don't care that all of this is like this. People's brains should be breaking, even on the left, that this is the front runner, the Republican front runner, former president who's been impeached twice, and both those impeachments were shams. And now they're using everything they can to go after him for bullshit. And this is unprecedented, isn't a big enough word to describe the insanity of all of this. And Democrats are just like, he's indicted on 97 charges. Look how evil he is. It's like, oh, God, it's the exact opposite. It's look how evil they are for indicting him on shams. These are show trials. All this shit is just fucking insane. Yeah, all right, that's it. That's all the Trump stuff I wanted to talk about. So unreal, you guys, freaking unbelievable. All right, let's check in with the chat. Matty Bracco, nice to see you, man. Ganko One, nice to see you. The RGS, the Israelis killed the Kennedys so they could continue their nuclear proliferation, so AIPAC didn't have to register as a foreign entity. Well, that's sort of what I was thinking too, with the help from the mob and the CIA. But that's just a tinfoil conspiracy. There's no evidence to support any of that. JFK was definitely like a week before trying to make AIPAC register as a foreign entity by law, and they're still not till this day. A foreign government that's a lobbyist that pays our politicians. Nothing to see here. Casey Martin, the court also made Stormy look like a Christian Blasey Ford. I don't know who Blasey Ford is. Did they really? Oh, jeez. Ganko One, they're unbearable. Absolutely. Matty Bracco, Maxine Waters has nothing to do with it, too. Yes. What did Maxine Waters do today? There was something else Maxine Waters today or yesterday said some shit about how there's like right-wing militias like training in the woods. She said some shit like that. It's like, well, I mean, you guys consider me right-wing. I do live in the woods and I do train up here. I go running and I go to the gun range. It has nothing to do with politics. I just like that stuff. That's it. I tend to lean to the right. I like running. I like keeping in shape, and I like knowing how to shoot. So I guess technically Maxine Waters isn't wrong, but she is crazy out of her freaking mind. Alrighty, let's keep going here. Let's talk about the freaking Tim Pool, Jake Shields beef, shall we? That's been going wild over in the Twitterverse. It's been pretty interesting. And what's hilarious about the whole thing to me is so yesterday all this shit went down, the beef between Jake Shields and Tim Pool. And before my show started yesterday, I looked and it was like, holy crap, Lila. So, Lila, somebody who has become a very good friend of mine, who's a Jew, by the way, who I talked to for like an hour and a half last night. His wife was on Tim Pool last night. And then Jake Shields, who I also know, he's not a friend. I've never actually met him in person, but we're both from San Jose. I've been to his gym before, traveled in the same circle kind of back when I was doing MMA and stuff. And yeah, I DM'd with him a bunch. I DM'd with him yesterday. I like him, even though I haven't been agreeing with how hard he's been going lately, like with all the Jew talk. But, I do not support Israel and what they're doing as well. So I'm not trying to be a fence sitter on this. Like, I do not want us funding Israel. I do not agree with what Israel is doing in Palestine. Israel is losing support on the world stage. I am not a fan of AIPAC. I am not a fan of the ADL. I do think Israel has a large amount of control over politicians in our government, all that stuff, things that Tim Pool will not say, and says that you have Israel derangement syndrome if you bring any of that stuff up. But it was just weird because it's like Jake Shields, who's kind of a friend, and then a really like somebody who's become a close friend of mine, his wife's on the show last night, and then they're beefing. It's just weird. Whole thing's weird. Whole thing is weird. You guys know Eric. Eric's been on the show a bunch of times, like, I don't know, 3 or 4 times now. He'll be on again very soon. He's just, he's a comedian. He's hilarious. And he does documentaries, like documentary films. He did the American History of Voter Fraud. He did a documentary about Fauci. He's also hysterical. He is freaking hilarious. Him and Lila are both freaking hilarious. So this Tim Pool, Jake Shields beef. I guess Jake Shields was supposed to go on Timcast, and Jake said, I want to bring on Nick Fuentes, who was recently brought back on Twitter. And Tim apparently says, well, if Nick Fuentes is going to come on, it's got to be a debate format, because we have to. Tim has made it clear that because it's on YouTube, he has to push back against the Israel stuff and the stuff that Nick Fuentes says, or he'll get demonetized for whatever reason. It's like, okay, well, you also have like timcast.com, you have Rumble. Just like, why not just do that episode not on YouTube? And like, that's sort of problem solved. But it doesn't have to be a debate. You can just have them on and talk, and like, I don't understand why it has to be debate format. But they started going back and forth. Tim says that he couldn't find people to debate Nick and Jake. Like, nobody wanted to do it, including Jake and Nick's friends, even though they say, like, bullshit, we had a couple of people that were willing to do it. But whatever. And they start beefing back and forth. Jake saying that Tim started like ducking him. He wouldn't respond to his text messages and shit. And Jake sort of went off on Twitter. It was like, kind of just like, you're kind of a puss for not letting me on. And then they start beefing back and forth. And then this is one of the tweets that Tim put out. It says, Jake Shields is a crybaby begging to come on my show like a little bitch. Sucks, doesn't it? Like, dude, I mean, chicks, you may not get this, but like, guys, there's no way Tim would say that to Jake's face. Like, there's no way, because unless he doesn't care about potentially getting the shit beat out of him. Like, not only is Jake a fighter, Jake was a good fighter, like really good. I mean, I probably outweigh Jake by 40 pounds. I'm probably a foot taller than him. Jake would wreck me. Jake would fold me into a pretzel. He would break my legs with leg kicks. He'd smash my nose. Like, guys don't say that. This is like Twitter tough guy shit. There's always the chance that if you pop off to somebody that can definitely beat you up, if you pop off to them too much, they're going to punch you in the face. That chance is always there. It's like, yeah, would they go to jail, all that kind of stuff? But yeah, but you still don't want to get punched in the face. You still don't want to get beat up. That's going to happen before the cops get there and arrest them. So you just don't say shit like that. You just don't run your mouth like that. It's Twitter tough guy talk. Tim's tiny, by the way. Tim is absolutely tiny, kind of soft around the middle. Jake still trains. Jake could probably still compete if he wanted to fight. It's I called him a crybaby and a little bitch. Okay. Jake responds with, Tim, I never asked you to come on the show. So this is where Jake like takes it too far. Like, I'm not down with this. So he says, Tim, I never asked you to come on the show because I think it's boring. I have at least a dozen emails from 3 separate booking agents of yours. And I told them no every time. I only agreed to do it with Nick because I wanted to piss people off and it would help Nick get back on big shows. And then he finishes with, you lie like a Jew. Like, oh, wow. They've visibility limited. This post may violate X's rules against hateful conduct. I wonder who reported them. Somebody posted this picture of Jake when he was on. Apparently Jake was on Molly when this picture was taken, where it's a little fruity, but whatever. Yeah, so that whole beef's happening. And then Tim, during his show last night, responded to that post, that response where Jake says, you lie like a Jew. And it's like, that's where I don't like all of the Jew talk. I don't like lumping the Jews, calling all of the Jews stuff, because I don't agree with what the Israeli government is doing in Gaza, because I don't agree with AIPAC, because I don't agree with the ADL. Like, again, ironically, somebody that's in this clip here, I was on the phone with her wife last night for like an hour and a half. We talk about all this stuff. We talk about it very openly. I ask them questions all the time. And I'm like, well, what about, like, we do disagree on stuff. But the thing is, like, he's struggling just as bad as me right now. Like, we have the same struggle, him and I. Like, yeah, he's a Jew. He's not part of some world cabal, and he doesn't have any sort of control over Hollywood or the music industry or anything. He's just some dude grinding to get by like I am. And when you just throw around the Jews or throw around the blacks or the Mexicans or the whatever, it's just not a good look. And it lumps everybody together, and it's like trying to put everyone in a box. So I don't like that stuff. I don't like it. And I would tell Jake that, like save the Israel, like even the Zionists, save the Zionists. I guess that's a little better, but it's just, don't say you lie like a Jew. Like saying, to me, that's saying, that's saying all Jews lie. And it's like, well, everyone lies. Like literally everybody freaking lies. So I wasn't down with that. I also wasn't down with Tim Pool calling Jake a bitch. It's like, can we all chill the fuck out a little bit? Like everything is getting way too tense and way too hot. And people are becoming way too comfortable saying shitty things, really shitty things. Like, let's not be so openly racist. Openly is tough too. It's like, let's just not be so racist. Can we all recognize how hard it is right now for everybody? All of us have to use money. All of us are dealing with hyperinflation. All of us we should be grouping together by class, not even grouping together, but a Jew, a black person, a Mexican person, a white person that is making under a certain income threshold. We have way more in common, despite our ethnicity differences, our religious differences, our sexual orientation differences, than the elites and we do. Like, we should be binding together. That's what they want. They want us all fucking fighting each other. They want us poors fighting at each other and at each other's throats, arguing about dumb shit. So we're not paying attention to the fact that we're all getting fucking robbed. Like, all of us. The government is robbing us blind, and here we are talking about the Jews are liars. Like, can we focus? Can we fucking focus? The shit is getting out of control. So here's Tim reacting to this shit on his show last night. It was funny because Lila makes a hilarious joke that I went back and watched some of this episode, and I wish you could tell her, actually, Eric, Lila's husband, pointed this out to me. It was like, everybody was so tense on the show yesterday. And like, I didn't even notice it first. I had to go back and watch it because of this whole beef with Jake Shields. Like, you could tell everybody's just like kind of tense and not their normal selves. And I didn't notice it first when he pointed it out. He was like, yeah, because Lila had some zingers and they didn't even laugh. And because Lila's hilarious, by the way. Lila is fucking hilarious. You guys should all watch her. Lila Hart, her stand-up is hilarious. When she's on podcasts, she's hilarious. Her voice is hilarious too. They're just a great couple. And it kind of sucks that this whole thing was going on because, like, Lila is such a lighthearted person and she's like quite literally comedic relief. And they just sort of like went over everybody's heads, which is funny because Lila is the shortest person there and she went over everybody else's head. So that was my terrible joke. See, I'm not a comedian. All right, let's watch this quick clip.
Interesting.
Jake Shields said to me, "You lie like a Jew."
Good gravy.
Yep. Holy
Publicly or like he
publicly.
said he
It's even Lila. Lila's freaking hilarious. I don't think I've ever heard anybody say good gravy in my life, but it's Lila.
Jake Shields said to me, "You lie like a Jew."
Good gravy.
Yep.
Well,
Holy
publicly or like he sent you a text?
Publicly. On Twitter, he said, "You lie like a Jew to me."
You know, the most ironic thing is that
Dude's lost
he
his
would probably
fucking
be the
mind.
first person.
Yeah.
That's sort of shocking.
No,
Wow,
this just straight
dude.
racism is so cringe, dude. Anyways,
My husband's Jewish, and I love him.
we get attacked for having no Jews
Hooray.
and too many Jews on the
Yeah.
show.
at the same time, on the same day, at the same episode, it's insane.
Well, whenever my husband makes me mad, I just tell him to go take a nap in the oven.
Oh,
So, but then they all laugh at that. You know, it's like the whole thing is just so weird. And in reality, Tim and Jake should be friends. Tim and Nick Fuentes should be friends. And Nick Fuentes is painted as this horrible, evil monster that's anti-Semitic and he hates everybody. He's anti-Semitic. He's a white supremacist, all of this stuff. The more I listen to him, the more I'm like, he's not that at all. He openly says that he's a Catholic and he's America first. That's it. So if you think about somebody that is like a hardcore Catholic and what Catholics believe, well, you can sort of extrapolate from that what their opinions are going to be. And Nick Fuentes, that's what he is. And his opinions align with all of that stuff, whether you agree with them or not. He doesn't pull any punches, and he's highly intelligent. And yeah, I don't think he hates the Jews either. In fact, like if anything, Jake is being a little more harsher in that regard than Nick Fuentes is. Like Nick, I've heard Nick say several times now, I don't hate any group of people. Like I don't hate any group of people, but I will recognize that, you know, like the Israeli government, AIPAC, the ADL, inside Hollywood, inside the pop industry, inside the intelligence agencies, there seems to be something going on. And there is some overrepresentation of certain people in those groups. It doesn't mean he hates Jews. It's anyway. And then Lila makes that joke. So it's just, everything's so weird. Can we get back to making offensive humor again? Can we get back to making fun of ourselves and even crossing the line sometimes, like trying to be funny and saying something that's maybe a little out of line, maybe a little mean, and not being ostracized from society for it, you know, like, and not forcing someone to apologize. Like, yeah, sometimes you might say something out of line. You might go over the line and say something bad. I don't even necessarily think you should apologize. Just recognize, I took it a little too far that time. Move on. Like, fucking move on. There's so much more shit for us to be focused on right now. And we're just, again, all the pores are fighting each other when it's like we all have much more of a shared struggle than we do differences. And it sucks. It sucks that, I mean, poor liberal college students and poor working class construction guys have way more in common than Gavin Newsom and me. Like, I have way more in common with a liberal college student than I do with Bernie Sanders. Way more in common. We have to navigate the same world. We have to struggle with trying to pay for gas, pay for electricity, pay to keep a roof over our head. I also was in college at a certain point, and I thought I was a liberal and all this stuff. I have way more in common with liberal college students than I do with Republican elite politicians that may have the same ideals as me. Way more in common. And they want us fighting each other. It's infuriating. That's the whole divide and conquer shit that they're doing, and we're all falling for it. It sucks. We're all fucking falling for it, and we need to stop. So, and yeah, that's Lila did great last night. You guys should go watch that episode. She was hysterical on there. She didn't talk a ton, but when she did talk, she was very clear, very concise, very to the point, and yeah, and she made that joke about Eric. When I'm mad at him, I tell him to go take a nap in the oven. It's just funny. It's horrible. It's a horrible joke. It's also hysterical. And yeah, Lila's great. It's freaking great. Let's listen to Nick Fuentes' reaction to the whole thing. So, because he got brought into this. So here's Nick Fuentes talking about it. Yeah, and Nick. So here, yeah, if you guys don't know Nick Fuentes, this is him. And look, Nick Fuentes is like 24 years old too, and he's kind of cocky, he's kind of arrogant, but I mean, for a reason. The dude is insanely intelligent. The guy knows a lot of shit, way more than I knew when I was 24, way more than I know now. I mean, the dude's really fucking smart, and you know, it's just he's a Catholic and he's America first. So that's what his views are going to be. But he's also kind of cocky, but in my opinion, in a hysterical way. Like just the way he carries himself and his mannerisms are fucking funny. And he's got an awesome mustache. So let's listen to him talk.
Also, thoughts on the Tim Pool versus Jake Shield panel stuff?
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Tim Pool's just like a total joke. Tim Pool invited Jake Shields and said, you can bring anybody you want. And Jake Shields said, I'll bring Nick Fuentes. Then Tim Pool said, oh, we have to debate people. And we gave them names. They're like, no, not that one. No, not that one. Oh, no one will do it. And then they just ghosted Jake Shields. So those people are always playing games. I'm so sick of playing games. Bring us on the show. Don't bring us on the show. I don't give a fuck. The show sucks anyway. Bring us on. Don't bring us on. But stop playing games and lying. Oh, well, we can't have you on because, well, you keep asking to come. We won't bring you on because your followers ask. We won't bring you on because no one will debate. Shut the fuck. Do it or don't do it and shut the fuck up. Stop with the games. But you know what it is? They don't want to admit that they have sold out. They will not bring me on because they are terrified of being censored. Just say it. Everyone knows it. They keep making up countless excuses. We can't bring them on for this reason. We can't bring them on for that reason. Everyone knows they're afraid of losing their channel. Fine, just say that. You're not a free speech platform. Like, everyone knows that already. So that just proves it with Jake Shields.
All right. So there's Nick's take. And I wouldn't say Tim Pool's a joke. I mean, he's been annoying the shit out of me lately too, but I've been a Tim Pool fan for a very long time, since, the Occupy Wall Street days. And I've watched his whole career progress, and he has built something like quite impressive what he's built, but he's pigeonholed himself. He's made himself so reliant on YouTube, and he wanted to build this empire, where he rivals, I don't know, Fox News, not anywhere near that kind of money. But I mean, he does have the Cast Castle. You look at the big giant skate park he built. You look at how many people he employs, the coffee shops, the coffee company. He's built something quite impressive. And what he does, his show has become rather important to conservative views, libertarian views. And yes, Tim Pool is definitely a fence sitter. He is definitely like middle of the road. During the whole vaccines shit, I was so pissed because he was always like, talk to your doctor. And he wouldn't take a stance. That's the thing that annoys me about Tim Pool, is he doesn't take any hard stances, really. I mean, I guess sometimes he does, but it's like you could tell that he is greatly holding himself back. I would love to see what he's like behind the scenes, because like, what does he really think? Like, Tim's not dumb. He's got to have some of the same tinfoil ideas that I have. So yeah, I'm not sure. Okay, let's see here. Oh, sorry. I got to get caught up with the chat here. Tim Pool and Fuentes isn't too far off in reality. Matty Bracco. I don't think Fuentes is racist. Danger. I don't think so either. I don't think Fuentes is racist at all. I think he's a Catholic and he's America first. I mean, that's it. It's really that simple. And he got canceled super early on when he was a kid. When he was like 18 years old. Ben Shapiro in the Daily Wire just railroaded him. And he got done dirty. He got canceled by banks. He got canceled by payment processors. Like, what? How does this happen? And I mean, because of how Nick Fuentes was labeled, I didn't look at a lot of his shit for the longest time. I just sort of figured a lot of it was like how I felt about Trump early on. It was like how so many people go after him and can't stand him. It's like, some of it's got to be true, right? And it's like, no, not really. It was just everybody colluded to lie about him, the Russia gate, all that stuff. And very similar to what happened with Nick Fuentes. He gets labeled a racist. He gets labeled anti-Semitic, gets labeled super far right. And then it's like, off into the woods you go. Nobody's going to hear from you again. And it's just, yeah, Nick Fuentes got done dirty, like super dirty. B says, oh, Tim is hoping Jake gets canceled. You think so? I like to give Tim more credit than that. I like to think Tim's kind of just like whatever about it, but I don't know. I don't know what Tim's thinking. I hope Tim doesn't want Jake to get canceled. I don't want anybody to get canceled. Like, everybody should be able to say things openly. And I got the Noam Chomsky clip pulled up now, because we're going to get into the whole freaking anti-Semitic bill, that whole thing. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. Danger, I listen to Tim every day, and I think Jake is a bit off on his take on Tim. Tim is not an Israel apologist. He kind of is sometimes. Like, yeah, he's not. I mean, Tim openly says, like, I don't support the U.S. giving tons of money to Israel. He openly says that, and like, that's something, that's something there. But he always tries to make like these false equivalencies to, Myanmar and Yemen and all that kind of stuff, and saying like, Myanmar's controlling our government and Ukraine's controlling our government kind of crap. It's like, dude, don't make these false equivalencies. You know about AIPAC, you know about the ADL, you know about the funding in Congress. Like, he's glib. He like intentionally glib sometimes. And I would like to know what he really says behind the scenes, because like, yeah. And then his relationship with the Daily Wire, like, they're all pretty chum over there. So I don't know. B says, oh, but I don't think people have the same enthusiasm for that anymore. Should give him more of a chance. Danger. Who? Jake Shields? B says, oh, Danger is, I don't want to blow up Danger, but Danger travels in sort of the same circle as Jake Shields as well. Danger is a jiu-jitsu guy. B says, oh, so no, Danger doesn't dislike Jake Shields at all. He doesn't dislike either of them. I feel perfectly comfortable speaking for Danger in that regard. Just so you guys know, Danger in the chat here is one of my friends for like 20, maybe like 25 years now, not like 20 years. We've been friends for a very long time. I see him all the time. We talk on the phone. I know his wife. I know his kids, his dogs that are no longer with us too. I miss them all. I know you do too, Danger. Anyway, yeah, Danger is a very close friend of mine. Let's see. He says that I'm just not buying it. Danger. Tim makes the point constantly that Israel is thrown in our faces and no one talks about the Uyghurs and the Armenians. People do talk about the Uyghurs and talk about like the Armenian genocide and stuff like that. It's just because they don't have the same influence over our government that Israel does. That's it. That's really it. And the same influence that they have in pop culture, in Hollywood, and all that stuff. So, and Epstein wasn't a Uyghur. He wasn't Armenian, all that kind of stuff. Harvey Weinstein wasn't a Uyghur, wasn't Armenian. Tim tried to have Nick on and he walked off. Danger. Kinda. I mean, he went on with Milo Yiannopoulos and Kanye got up and walked out. And Nick was there with Kanye, and it's kind of like Kanye is Kanye. If Kanye is leaving, it's like Nick's got to go too. I don't think Nick made the active decision to get up and walk out. It was just kind of like, good, I guess I'm leaving, So that's the way I look at it anyway. Danger. Tim has said multiple times that he's scared of losing his channel, and that is why he is in the practice of making moves so YouTube can't censor him. Yeah, but if he wants to have Nick Fuentes and Jake Shields on, he should just do it not on YouTube. I've never seen him be like, you know what, this is going to be a controversial stream, so I don't think we're going to do this on YouTube. We're going to do it on Rumble and just on timcast.com, because he has the ability to do that. And that would drive tons of people over to, like, imagine if he did that. He could blow up his Rumble channel and get more subscriptions. I don't know why he doesn't do something like that. B says, people don't talk about that enough. Canceled by Banks is pretty crazy. Yes, like, that's insane. Like, what they did to Nick Fuentes was insane. Like, that was out of control. Milo did an interview. Matty Bracco. Milo, Kanye, and Nick Fuentes all went on Timcast, and it lasted for like 5 minutes, if that. I mean, it immediately got into like Kanye got offended and got up and walked out, and Milo and Nick Fuentes were there with them, so they got up and left as well. Sucks. Like that episode would have done huge numbers. It probably did do huge numbers, but I mean, yeah, that sucks. That really sucks because Milo Yiannopoulos, Nick Fuentes, and Kanye were all on there together. Oh yeah, and like now I'm just thinking about it. Like that would have been such a good one. Milo, you thought he left into the shadows. He's making like a weird comeback. I think didn't Milo even say he's not gay anymore or something like that? I don't know. Milo's a weirdo. He's a hilarious weirdo though. Liberty loving Rumble. Yeah. Kanye got butthurt because Tim asked him to clarify who he was talking about, and Kanye just got up and left. Yeah. I mean, I don't think it wasn't that Kanye got butthurt. It was that like Tim didn't honestly ask. Tim knew who he was talking about. Tim absolutely knew who he was talking about. And Kanye was like, come on, dude. Like, really? Like, you're really going to make, like, so I'm not agreeing with Kanye getting up and walking out, but that's Kanye, that's just Kanye. What do I think of Macklemore's newest song? I barely know who Macklemore is. I just know that there's a freaking Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef going on right now, but I'm super dorky and white, so I have no clue about any of it. I guess there's a drive-by. Was there a freaking drive-by in front of Drake's house today? Like, what's going on with all that? Like, I don't know. So, yeah. So you go somewhere else, learn about that, because I have no clue what's going on. Maybe you guys can tell me what's going on with it, because I have no clue. All right, check the Rumble chat. North side of the CIA stands for Israel. Maybe I used to run. Okay, no, sorry. Already said that. Casey Martin, the court artist made Stormy look like. Oh yeah, I already read that. Sorry, I'm more caught up on the Rumble chat than I thought I was. Northside, those are fighting words, and Stockton boys throw down for real. What are fighting words? What'd I say? I didn't talk shit about Stockton. I know Stockton. I lived in Stockton for a little bit. I got family in Stockton. Nick Diaz, brothers, man. I should write a book about my struggle. Nah, nobody cares about me. I am writing a book right now. I'm working on chapters. It's called Growing Up Dead. My dad was a deadhead, so that's kind of what it's about. Nobody's going to read it, though. Northside, I am with you on racism being wrong. We need to all come together and get the Italians. What the fuck? I thought you were saying something all wholesome until the very last word. It's hilarious. Mahanish, where's Scarlett? Yeah, she's hiding. She lays in the closet. It's weird. That's like her spot. She lays in the closet, so I put a bed in there for her. That's what she's doing right now. Sometimes she gets scared. She's terrified of loud noises, so that's where she's at. Danger Stolman, White and Nerdy. Remember the Weird Al Yankovic song? Or was it? Yeah, Weird Al Yankovic. He did the White and Nerdy song. That was Weird Al, wasn't it? All right, let's keep going here. Am I doing on time? Not too bad. Probably not going to get into all the stuff that I wanted to get into tonight, though. So, all right, let's talk about Israel. Let's talk, not necessarily Israel, but just the whole Hamas, Gaza, Israel situation going into Rafah, all that crap right now. Yeah, I'm not going to get too opinionated about it. I'm just going to try to briefly go over what's going on with all of it. So let's go over to, this is from K-Ron Channel 4. They're a local Bay Area news station. And they say, what's going on here? Okay, I thought I was going to be behind a paywall for a minute there. So yesterday, they say Hamas announces it's accepted an Egyptian Qatari ceasefire proposal. Jerusalem AP. Hamas announced Monday it has accepted the Egyptian-Qatari proposal for a ceasefire and to halt the 7-month-long war in Israel and Gaza. Hours after Israel ordered about 100,000 Palestinians to begin evacuating from the southern city of Rafah, signaling that a long-promised ground invasion there could be imminent, there was no immediate comment from Israel on the deal, and details of the proposal have not yet been released. In recent days, Egyptian and Hamas officials have said the ceasefire would take place in a series of stages during which Hamas would release hostages it is holding in exchange for Israeli troop pullbacks from Gaza. It is not clear whether the deal will meet Hamas's key demand of bringing about an end to the war and complete Israeli withdrawal. Hamas said in a statement Hamas said in a statement its top leader, Ismail Haniyeh, I think that's how you say his name, had delivered the news in a phone call with Qatar's prime minister and Egypt's intelligence minister. After the release of his statement, Palestinians erupted in cheers in the sprawling tent camps around Rafah, hoping the deal meant an Israel attack had been averted. Israel's closest allies, including the United States, have repeatedly said that Israel shouldn't attack Rafah. The looming operation has raised global alarm over the fate of around 1.4 million Palestinians sheltering there. 1.4 million people all in that tiny little area. That's insane. Aid agencies have warned that an offensive will worsen Gaza's humanitarian catastrophe and bring a surge of more civilian deaths in an Israeli campaign that in nearly 7 months has killed 34,000 people and devastated the territory. Free meals to be provided for kids in San Francisco. Wait, okay, I'm sorry. That was just I hate it when they do that. It has nothing to do with the story. U.S. President Joe Biden spoke Monday with the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, reiterated U.S. concerns about the invasion in Rafah. Biden said the ceasefire with Hamas is the best way to protect the lives of Israeli hostages held in Gaza. A National Security Council spokesperson said on condition of anonymity to discuss the call of an official White House statement. Anonymity to discuss the call before an official White House statement was released. Hamas and key mediator Qatar said that invading Rafah will derail efforts by international mediators to broker a ceasefire. Days earlier, Hamas had been discussing the U.S.-backed proposal that reportedly raised the possibility of an end to the war and pullout of Israeli troops in return for the release of all hostages held by the group. Israel officials have rejected that trade-off, vowing to continue their campaign until Hamas is destroyed. Okay. Netanyahu said Monday that seizing Rafah, which Israel says is the last significant Hamas stronghold in Gaza, wasn't it like the last standing buildings in Gaza, was vital to ensuring the militants can't rebuild their military capabilities and repeat an October 7th attack on Israel that triggered the war. Yeah, it's sort of ensuring that no Palestinians will be able to return to their homes or rebuild anything at all. Again, I'm still saying this is a giant land grab, you guys. This is a freaking giant land grab and a slaughter. I will call this a genocide. I do not agree with what Israel's doing. But the hostages, but Hamas, but human shields. Yeah. This is not, Israel's out of control. Lieutenant Colonel Nadav Shoshani, an army spokesperson, said that 100,000 people were being ordered to move from parts of Rafah to a nearby Israel-declared humanitarian zone called Mawasi, a makeshift camp on the coast. He said that Israel has expanded the size of the zone and that it included tent, foods, and a field hospital. It wasn't immediately clear, however, that the material was already in place to accommodate the new arrivals. Just go there, guys. All this stuff will be waiting for you. Just kidding. Around 450,000 displaced Palestinians are already sheltering in Mawasi. The UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees, known as the UNRWA, said it has been providing them with aid, but conditions are squalid. I'm too retarded to know what that word means, you guys. Squalid. I don't know what that means. With bathrooms or sanitation facilities in the largely rural area, forcing families to dig private latrines. Oh, geez. I know what latrine means. After the evacuation order announcement Monday, Palestinians in Rafah wrestled with having to uproot their extended families once again from the unknown fate, exhausted after months living in sprawling tent camps or crammed into the school or the other shelters in the around city. Few who spoke to the Associated Press wanted to risk staying. Mohammed Jindaya, said that at the beginning of the war, he had tried to hold out his home in northern Gaza after Israel ordered an evacuation there in October. He ended up suffering through heavy bombardment and fleeing to Rafah. He's complying with the order this time, but was unsure now whether to move to Mawasi or another town in central Gaza. We are 12 families and we don't know where to go. There is no safe area in Gaza, he said. Can you imagine the horror that just ordinary Palestinians that have nothing to do with Hamas are living in? It's just a horrific situation. Sahar Abu Nahal, who fled to Rafah with 20 family members, including her children and grandchildren, wiped tears from their cheeks, despairing at a new move. I have no money or anything. I am seriously tired, as are the children, she said. Maybe it's more honorable for us to die. We are being humiliated. Yeah. Israeli military leaflets were dropped with maps detailing a number of eastern neighborhoods of Rafah to evacuate. Warning that the attack was imminent and anyone who stays puts themselves and their family members in danger. Text messages and radio broadcasts repeated the message. UNRWA won't evacuate from Rafah so it can continue to provide aid to those who stay behind, said Scott Anderson, the agency's director in Gaza. Wow. We will provide aid to wherever they choose to be, he told the AP. The UN says the attack on Rafah could disrupt the distribution of aid, keeping Palestinians alive across Gaza. The Rafah crossing into Egypt, a main entry point for aid to Gaza, lies in the evacuation zone. The crossing remained open Monday after the Israeli order. Jan Egeland, Secretary General of the Norwegian Refugee Council, condemned the forced unlawful evacuation order and the idea that people should go to Mawasi. The area is already overstretched and devoid of vital services, Egeland said. He said that an Israeli assault could lead to the deadliest phase of this war. That's not encouraging. Israel's bombardment and ground offensive in Gaza have killed more than 34,700 Palestinians, around 2/3 of them children and women, according to the Gaza health officials. The tally doesn't distinguish between civilians and combatants. More than 80% of the population of 2.3 million have been driven from their homes, and hundreds of thousands in the north are on the brink of famine, according to the UN. Tensions escalated Sunday when Hamas fired rockets at Israeli troops positioned on the border with Gaza near Iran's main crossing for delivering humanitarian aid, killing 4 soldiers. Israel shuttered the crossing, but Shoshani said it wouldn't affect how much aid entered Gaza as others are working. Meanwhile, Israeli airstrikes on Rafah killed 22 people, including children and 2 infants, according to a hospital. The war was sparked by the unprecedented October 7th raid on southern Israel, in which Hamas and other militants killed around 1,200 people, mostly civilians, and abducted around 250 hostages. After exchanges during the November ceasefire, Hamas is believed to hold around 100 Israelis captive, as well as bodies of around 30 others. The mediaries over the ceasefire, the United States, Egypt, and Qatar, have appeared to scramble to salvage a ceasefire deal and have been trying to push through the past week. Egypt said that it was in touch with all sides Monday to prevent the situation from getting out of control. CIA Director William Burns, who had been in Cairo for talks on the deal, headed to meet with Prime Minister of Qatar, an official familiar with the matter said. It wasn't clear whether a subsequent trip to Israel that had been planned would happen. The official spoke on condition of anonymity to discuss the closed-door negotiations. In a fiery speech on Sunday evening, making Israel's Holocaust Memorial Day, Netanyahu rejected international pressures to halt the war, saying that if Israel is forced to stand alone, Israel will stand alone. I can't stand that psychopath. On Monday, Netanyahu accused Hamas of torpedoing a deal by not budging from its demand for an end to the war and a complete Israeli troop withdrawal from the return withdrawal in return for hostages release, which he called extreme. Okay. So that's that whole article. And then we go right over to a Fox, KTVU Fox 2, which is another Bay Area affiliate. Check them in the chat really quick here. Liberty Love and Umbra. I'm not sure what that link is. I can't click on it while the show's going here. The RGS, do you think after Rafah, Israel is going to try to finish the 6-day war and march on Egypt for more land? I don't think so. No, I don't. I think this is just a giant land grab for all of Gaza. If they did that, no. With how much support on the world stage they've lost, I think they'd be out of their freaking minds to try to, like, what? I mean, even them taking land in Gaza is going to look horrible after everything that they've done. So, no, if they march on Egypt, I mean, they're going to lose. They would have to lose America's support at that point. We can't. Yeah, so no, that would be insane. I could be wrong, but that would be absolutely insane. But Netanyahu is absolutely insane, so I don't know. Squalid is dirty, filthy. Thank you, Casey Martin. I'll probably forget that because I'm retarded. I'm squalidly retarded. Can I say, is that? Can you combine those two words? The RGS, I really don't think Israel will march on Egypt and use Hamas as an excuse. I really do think Israel will march on Egypt and use Hamas as an excuse. Plus, they wanted to nuke Egypt during the 6-day war. When they attacked it. During the 6-day war is when they attacked the USS Liberty. I don't see that. I mean, I think they would be out of their minds to do that shit. I don't see that happening, but I mean, I could be wrong. So after that whole article I just read, Qatar, Egypt proposing a ceasefire, all that stuff, Israel rejects ceasefire deal, presses on with Rafah attack. So instead of reading this whole article, I'm just going to watch this. We're just going to watch this video really quick.
Ceasefire negotiations between Israel and Hamas with the potential to pause or perhaps bring to a halt the ongoing war in Gaza. So far, Hamas signing onto the agreement, but Israel not ready to do so. KTVU's Zach Sauce has been following the ongoing talks. He joins us now live in the newsroom with late details. Zach.
And Julie, those negotiations come as Israel signaled its plans for more military strikes in southern Gaza, the IDF ordering some 100,000 Palestinians in the region to evacuate.
With the threat of a ramped-up offensive by Israeli forces in the southern Gaza city of Rafah looming, Palestinians once again packing up and fleeing.
God knows whether we will stay alive or die.
Monday, Hamas accepting an Egyptian-Qatari brokered ceasefire proposal, but Israel not ready to sign on, saying it failed to meet its, quote, core demands. Middle East policy expert Professor Stephen Zunis.
It's clear that Hamas is really interested in putting an end to the fighting. The question, of course, is will Israel go along?
Putting an end to the fighting? What fighting back is there? This seems kind of one-sided to me. Hamas isn't an army.
Big sticking point has been that Hamas has been pushing for a permanent ceasefire in return for the hostages, whereas Israel has only been wanting a temporary pause.
The IDF conducting, quote, targeted strikes in the region after a deadly rocket attack by Hamas killed 4 Israeli soldiers Sunday. National security expert Hal Kempfer.
Israel's not going to agree to a permanent ceasefire. Hamas has a long history of basically disregarding these agreements at a whim. So what they want is they want a much more tangible agreement in place, more limited in scope.
The U.S. and UN weighing in on the ceasefire negotiations.
We still believe that reaching an agreement is the absolute best outcome.
Any escalation of hostilities resulting from a full-scale incursion into Rafah will push residents and displace people currently living there past their breaking point.
Sunday, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu showing no signs of bowing to international pressure.
No amount of pressure, no decision by any international forum will stop Israel from defending itself.
This as thousands of Israelis
You guys want to know how autistic I am? Here, look at it.
rallied around the country Monday night calling for an immediate agreement.
Everybody's hoping.
This as thousands of Israelis.
No decision.
That wall that's behind him is driving me crazy because the joints are all lined up. You see this? The bricks aren't staggered. That's what stood out to me in this video. Like, that's how autistic I am. I'm sorry. I just had to point that out. I'm retarded.
By any international forum will stop Israel from defending itself.
This as thousands of Israelis rallied around the country Monday night calling for an immediate agreement.
Everybody's hoping that there is some agreement because they want to get the hostages out and they want to avoid a humanitarian catastrophe in Rafah.
They already have one.
And while Israel has yet to sign on to that ceasefire agreement in its current form, Netanyahu has certainly not walked away from the table. An Israeli government spokesperson saying the country would continue negotiations. Julie?
All right, Zach Sauce.
Okay. All right. Well, let's keep going. We'll go to Jake Shields here. So Jake Shields is beefing with Laura Loomer too. I'm just going to skip right over that. I don't have time to talk about that. Colin Rugg reports that says breaking, President Biden is considering bringing in Palestinians from Gaza into the United States as refugees, according to CBS. Yeah, I ain't down with that either. Ain't down with that at all. But, they're going to do what they're going to do. Federal U.S. agencies are figuring out how to resettle Palestinians from Gaza. I've been saying from the beginning, you guys, that they're going to level Gaza, kill tons of people, and then the remaining Palestinians are going to be forced out of Gaza, and Israel is going to take over all of the land. I really think that's what's going to happen. Federal U.S. agencies are figuring out how to resettle Palestinians from Gaza. According to the report, one proposal would use the United States Refugee Admissions Program to bring in Palestinians with U.S. ties who may have escaped into Egypt. Those who pass the eligibility requirements would then fly into the United States with refugee status, receiving housing assistance, of course, and have a path towards citizenship. Well, isn't that something? Why they can send them to San Francisco. They'll make them cops. Freaking unbelievable. All right, let's go over to all right, so now these are some of the images coming out of Rafah after the attack has started. So this is from Khaleesi over here on X.
الآن استهداف ضخم جدا شرق محافظة رفح تحديدا بالقرب منطقة الجوازات واشتعال النيران في المكان بشكل ضخم وكثيف جدا. هذا للعلم.
So they're definitely going hard in Rafah like they've done in the rest of Gaza. Here's some more. This is from Solomon. He's the one that always does spaces with Mario Narwhals. This is just a video of a woman driving around in Gaza. She says, I swear this situation is pure terror. I mean, I don't know what.
يا عفو الله يا عفو الله يا عفو الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. اطلع يا حسن اطلع بشكل عشوائي.
Everybody's so freaking hardcore religious, the Muslims in Palestine and then the Israelis. There's this, I was watching some footage. A guy was asking Israelis, would you would you rather pray in a church or would you rather pray in a mosque? And all of the Israelis were saying that they would rather pray in a mosque because at least it's the same God. They don't worship Jesus. And it's funny, you know, they're just bombing the shit out of, well, Hamas would be bombing the shit out of Israel if they could. They just don't have the capabilities. Israel's bombing the shit out of the Palestinians. There's all this horrific war going on. And yeah, I feel like Jesus would be like, hey, stop killing each other. But, you know, that's just me. All right. Lots of horrific footage coming out of there, you guys. Another one from Soleimani. We'll play this. They're saying that a refugee camp got bombed, but it looks like they're bombing buildings strategically that they'll probably say they think Hamas fighters are in, but they're going to have nothing to return to. All right, you guys get the picture. Freaking carnage, bombs, all that stuff. Yeah. So, meanwhile, like, well, this is the last clip I'll play. This isn't out of Rafah. This is out of, so this looks like it was out of Athens, Greece. And this is from libs of TikTok. And I mean, you guys will know Shaya is a Jew. She sides with the Israelis. She was just in Israel. So, you know, make of that what you will. But this scene, if it is what's happening, is again, so like Jews in America, this obviously isn't in America, but I mean, Jews in Greece too. Jews in Greece, I'll go as far to say is Jews in America and Muslims in America and Christians in America that are all below a certain income threshold, we have more in common than the rich politicians and us. And all of this, I hate using the word anti-Semitism because it's like lost its meaning, but people that hate the Jews, people that hate the Muslims, people that hate the Christians, all of this is just divide and conquer. It's so frustrating. But this is a video out of Greece, and they say that there was a hotel that a bunch of Jews were staying in, and there's like a mob trying to attack people. And this is the video. That's what's being reported anyway. I don't know. You guys look into it. I don't know how much truth there is behind this, but this is what's being reported. Several different people are reporting this too. It's not just libs of TikTok. Tensions are rising everywhere, folks. Tensions are getting pretty crazy. It's, yeah, just not a good sign. The divide and conquer is working swimmingly, if I do say so. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Divide and conquer seems to be working. Casey Martin, America last. The Biden administration is the worst. Yeah, I tend to agree with that. And wow, all right, you guys have been quiet in the chat, so we're all caught up, it looks like. So yeah, that's about it, guys. That is all I got for the night, I believe. You guys, I'll throw it out there one more time. If you are a California parent, go sign up for the California Parents Union. Let's fight back against all the nonsense that are going on in the schools. Use the link in the show notes below, californiaparentsunion.com/CaliBased. That is, that will bring you to the sign up page. And again, it's just $25 a year. And there's resources that you can get. Stuff's about homeschooling, legal advice. We got upcoming events, all sorts of things. So it's a good way to fight back. Teachers Union doesn't represent the teachers. They represent an ideology and the government. So kids are all caught in the middle. So if you want to fight back against the whole thing, californiaparentsunion.com/CaliBased. That'll bring you to the sign up page. Yeah, that's all I got on that one. Also, if you want to support the show, there's links in my bio about, cool running stuff that I enjoy. There's supplements in there. There's stuff for the dogs. I'll be adding more stuff. I'm signing up as an affiliate with Chewy as well, because I greatly like that company for dog food, dog supplements, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, and then I'll have a website soon where you guys can go sign up, CaliBased.com, but I don't have it set up yet. So yeah, that's all I got. That is it. You guys got anything else? Yeah, thank you all for being here. Like, give a thumbs up, repost, give me a follow, all that good stuff. Love you guys. Thank you everyone for being here. That was a way better show than last night. Last night's show sucked. I apologize. It was just bad. I was extremely rusty. And I sort of had like a half-baked show prepared because I spent the whole day down rabbit holes. Yeah, that is all I got for the night. But you know how we do it. Before we get out of here, got to tell a joke from the greatest book ever written, The Truth About Chuck Norris. Let's see. What do we got tonight? I've already read that one. That one's funny, though. Okay. All right. Chuck Norris joke of the evening. Matty Bracco, cheers. Thank you, everybody, for being here. The RGS, Casey Martin, Ganko 1, Northside, Mahanish. Well, it's V1800. Then over on the YouTubes and Twitter, Liberty Loving Umba, Matty Bracco, Danger, B Sizzo, Wally World. I know you're in there somewhere. Bunch of you guys tonight. Sorry if I missed any of you guys. Colin, always good to see you. Yeah, thank you everybody for being here. That was a fun one. All right, here's what we got for Chuck Norris joke of the evening. Chuck Norris once ejaculated solid gold into the river in India, bringing profit to the local villagers and causing him to be worshipped as a god. And on that note, stay Cali-based.